from the betting capital of the world, giving raw and real breakdowns of mixed martial arts and recapping UFC events like no one else, with producer Martin on the ones and twos and combat sports betting expert Effie. You're listening to Any Action Sportscast. Any Action Sportscast. So put your headphones on and let's take this podcast to the next level.
This isn't a podcast. It's a sportscast.
What is up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast here to talk about our official bets for UFC 283. We're doing it a little bit different this week as we're going to get right into our official bets. And later in the week, watch out for our official breakdown video as it will drop either Wednesday or Friday. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what you think about our bets. Our biggest bet of the card will take place during the Johnny Walker vs. Paul Craig fight. We have 1.9 units on Johnny Walker minus 190 to win 1 unit. I feel extremely confident in Johnny Walker in this spot, man. Paul Craig is submission to bust. This is a striker versus grappler fight here with everything pointing to Johnny Walker in my opinion. Obviously, at any moment, Paul Craig is live to submit anybody in division. I mean, it's crazy to think that he has that submission win over Magomed Ankalaev. It's absolutely nuts when you look at the clock and consider the situation that they were in. And, you know, we've seen him submit even Jamal Hill, who's fighting for the belt later on the card. But Johnny Walker here, guys, you know, he got back on track after beating Ion Cutelaba in his last fight, where he was a bit on a run there. He was losing to higher level guys. Paul Craig, you know, like I said, at any moment, if he gets you in his guard or grabs a limb, snatches up your ankle, arm, anything, he's liable to submit you at any moment of the fight. He's super dangerous, and he usually does it in round 1. I just think that Johnny Walker has good enough submission defense here to not get submitted by Paul Craig and avoid his guard and just piece him apart on the feet. On the feet, I don't think that it will be relatively close at all. I think that Johnny Walker is going to spark Paul Craig here, and I actually double dipped in this fight. I also put a half unit shot on the over 1.5 rounds at plus 125. Now, I know I'm a crazy madman for placing this bet because pretty much all of these guys' fights finish in the first round. And if it gets to the second round, it finishes right when the second round starts. But guys, I think this is going to be a long, drawn-out fight where Johnny Walker is going to be piecing apart Paul Craig, and Paul Craig's going to be doing what he did in the Ozdemir fight, flopping around on his back, trying to pull guard, trying to, you know, grab or ankle pick Johnny Walker here, get him down on the ground somehow. And Johnny Walker is going to deny him, maybe kick him a couple times and tell him to get up. I really think that that's what's going to happen. We're going to see multiple times in the fight where Craig's inviting him to the ground, and Johnny Walker's not going to, you know, stand for it. He's going to say, get up and let's duke it out. But I think that Johnny Walker's going to be able to keep this fight on the feet and finish Paul Craig, whether it be at distance or in the clinch or ground and pound. I feel extremely confident. That's why we're almost betting him at a 2-1 favorite here, Johnny Walker. But I see this line moving the whole rest of the week. If you're betting on Paul Craig, just bet him via submission. And yeah, I hope it goes over 1.5 because I did take that at plus money. But I only put a half unit shot on it because I know how dangerous both these guys are. Both these guys are dangerous finishers at any moment of the fight. And yeah, like I said, Johnny Walker hasn't been submitted in 8 years. I think that's going to continue on Saturday. He's going to cash this ticket for us. Our biggest bet of the night, Johnny Walker, minus 190 for 1.9 units. Our next bet will take place in the main event at UFC 283. A fight between Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight strap. I'm super excited for this fight. It's going to be an exciting fight, especially in Brazil. I'm super excited to see the crowd root for Glover Teixeira. But we are betting 1.55 units on Jamal Hill at minus 120 to be and new. I know this is a risk, guys. Betting against a Brazilian legend going home in Brazil could be a send-off fight. If he wins, you know, he might retire. Man, he's 43 years old, though, and Jamal Hill has everything going for him, especially when you look at the tail of the tape. 12 years younger, slight height and reach advantage going toward Jamal. I think that he's going to be the way quicker guy on the feet here for as long as it lasts. Which brings me up to our next bet. We actually double dipped on this fight as well. We have the over 1.5 rounds at minus 125, and we wagered 1.25 units to win 1 on that bet. Because I do think that both fighters are durable enough to last 7.5 minutes against each other here. And it comes down to when and what does it look like when Glover Teixeira does eventually take Jamal Hill down. I, without a shadow of a doubt, do believe that he will be taken down in this fight. But I do think that he has enough to get up and not get submitted here, not give up his bag on the way up, and just avoid getting submitted by someone like Glover Teixeira here. And I will say, guys, I gotta be honest, it's a tough look. It's a bad look when you have someone like Thiago Santos taking you down 6 times in Jamal Hill especially when you consider that Thiago Santos is a guy that had reconstructive knee surgery. So he's basically in there with like 1.5 working legs. And he's going in there and taking you down over and over again. I will say he defended a lot of takedowns in that fight, although getting taken down 6 times. And he did, show an ability to get up pretty quickly, which I did like. And he showed that his power carried, through 4 rounds, and he ended up getting that 4th round knockout, which is a good thing because this is a championship fight going 5 rounds, and I just think that as far as over, Teixeira is super durable, super hard to finish. He actually had moments in that fight where he had Jiri hurt and rocked, almost put him out, and he was able to eat Jiri's best shots. A guy with a ton of power, the former champion got surgery, had to vacate the belt, and their striking is a bit different though. I will say Yuri is like a super awkward guy, fights with his hands like by his hip sometimes, and just does all this weird stuff. Jamal Hill is more of a sophisticated striker, I guess you could say. Don't mean that in a bad way, but super well-rounded fighter, man. I think that he has the nails, like I said, takedown defense and jiu-jitsu to not get submitted here. And I feel confident that he's going to be able to finish Glover Teixeira here. I've seen that the age finally catches up. He was just in a war with Jiri Prochazka. He took a ton of shots in that fight. And as far as the relative short notice with this fight being made, we all saw Blachowicz and Magomed go to a draw. And that's why this fight got booked. And so for somewhat, it is short notice for Jamal Hill. His last fight was 3 months ago. So it's not like it was all of a sudden, so he definitely had time in the gym. But 1 month's notice to get ready for your first title shot in Brazil against Glover Teixeira, it is a tough task, man. I'm not going to lie. I bet 1.55 units on this because I do think that he's going to be able to beat Glover Teixeira and eventually knock him out in the 3rd round. So I'm going with Jamal Hill via 3rd round knockout to be new and finish Glover Teixeira and to be the next light heavyweight champion, while also cashing that over for us at -125 over 1.5 rounds for 1.25 units. And that'll do it, guys. Our first 4 official bets for UFC 283. Thank you much for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and one last time, we're going to run down the bets really quickly. Johnny Walker, -190 for 1.9 units. Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill over 1.5 rounds, -125 for 1.25 units. Jamal Hill, money line, -120 for 1.55 units. And Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker over 1.5 units at +125 for a half unit shot. Like I said, guys, make sure you watch out for our prediction video coming out either Wednesday night or Friday night. We really appreciate all the support. We're almost at 150 subscribers. Let me know what you think about our bets, man. Are you taking our bets or are you fading our bets? And yeah, man, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.